Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, PattSun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/slash cheating stories, where OP found out that he was just getting used. Let's begin. Caught my girlfriend heavily flirting with other dudes. Posted by Reddit user DoubleTree133.
Hey, so TLDR. My girlfriend and I are male and female, 25 years old. Been together 6 years, and we have a stepson who is 10 years old. We all live together, and at a party we recently hosted I happened to spot some concerning messages on her phone, investigated further and discovered she was flirting with multiple other men for months or years. I'm super heartbroken and could use any kind words or advice. So we met through friends in high school, fell madly in love. She had a kid at 15 and we were both only 18, still living with our parents. I just thought she was amazing. Beautiful, passionate, honest. She could be strange, but I love that. Things were amazing for years. We went to court together and got her kid back from her narcissistic mom. My parents helped get her a driver's license. I graduated college. We all moved into the in-law apartment off my parents' house. I don't know where it went wrong really. There were lots of red flags, more than should have been ignored. She was furious at a farmer for asking her not to get his cows running. Insisted it was fine. Later that she didn't remember it. She spent money on her dad's credit card and was upset when he wanted it paid back because she's struggling. We had a few fights where I think she started to despise me. One, driving home and I told her I thought she could make it in between two cars. She said we can't all have our parents buy a car for us. I said she was being a dick and I would not apologize. She said this was name-calling and a step closer to me abusing her. 2, she asked if I would be happier with multiple girlfriends in a polyamorous relationship. I said yes, young and dumb me. She took this as I'd never be fully satisfied with just her. 3, I told her if I keep paying her part of the rent and doing her chores, I wasn't sure if the relationship would work out. She was apologetic, but later said that she felt unwanted and flirted because she didn't think I had long-term interests. But part of me feels like I'm the bad guy and I'm sitting here misleading all of you people, and I'm doing this poor girl wrong. I love her so much when things are going well, and she's done some amazing things for me. But into the cheating, yes, I came back from a camping trip and she was super unexcited to see me. Most awkward atmosphere ever. She left her phone out and I saw a text from a friend where she was telling them she just wasn't attracted and in love with me. I totally ruined her night coming home sick, despite taking her to the hospital easily over 100 times for migraines and having her back in a billion ways. She denied it initially, but I kept at it. She hadn't said she loved me in weeks. She admitted it and said it was because of some of those issues. Okay, no one else involved. Okay. But yes, she left her MF phone out again and I saw her talking about her crush calling her little lady and how excited she was to go get crepes with him. Dug through it more and it had been going on for months. Allegedly nothing physical, although she was willing to dry hump me when she had a boyfriend. Because not cheating, she'd sent semi-lewd pics to various dudes she knew and worked with. And the main dude, an EMT, she always talked about how cool he was. She met up with him and remembered how attractive he was back in September. She denied each piece of info. She said she wasn't attracted. I told her I knew she was with evidence. She said she didn't flirt. I knew she did. I planned on asking her to marry me when I came back from that hiking trip, and when I got back she just didn't love me. But I guess she hadn't for a while. And her kid calls me dad. I've been nothing but honorable to her. I wanted to make this work. I loved my little family and part of me still wants to make this work. She says it was a huge mistake and it only happened because she thought I wasn't in it for the long term. I don't want to ruin my stepson's Christmas. A big part of me still wants to be with her and hopes she will truly be honorable. Thank you for reading whatever you did. Here's to love. Be good to your partners and love one another.
OP. She has been entertaining other guys while in a relationship with you. For years. Years, my dude. If she had any respect for you or you had any self-respect at all, this would have never happened in the first place. Never accept disrespect, especially from a cheater. You need to end this relationship as soon as you can, alright? Alright. So OP, you just found out that this relationship is 100% out of the window. So, this is what she's gonna do. She's going to say and do whatever brings back the status quo. Do you know why? Because you make her life so much easier, dude. That's all there is. However, of course you know the love is gone because she is already interviewing your replacement. So OP, get your shit together and start making your exit. If you still, for some reason, still want to keep in touch with her kid, well, I guess good luck on you with that, my friend. However, I'm sure she will want that to stop immediately when the next guy starts doing that job. OP, realize this one simple fact. She is for the streets and you deserve better. Our next story is from r/relationship advice. My boyfriend is worried that I will gain weight and it pisses me off. Gee, I wonder why you're so pissed off. Could it be because that your boyfriend has some standards? Well, I guess we'll find out. Posted by Reddit user DrewNix.
I'll start with some backstory because I think it's important. I'm sorry if this is long. TW, suicide, eating disorders, and self-harm. I have bipolar disorder, currently pretty much under control. I only get a bit depressed sometimes and it's hard to concentrate. Therapy plus meds. When my boyfriend and I started dating over 5 years ago, I didn't have my diagnosis yet, but I was under treatment for depression. It wasn't working though. When he asked if I wanted to be his girlfriend, I was honest about everything. Everything included very heavy and almost daily suicidal thoughts, self-harm, and recurring bulimia. Back then, and ever since I was around 12 or 13, I put most of my worth on my weight, mostly due to social and family pressure to be thin. Let me say that I have never ever been overweight, not even close. I've always known this, but as eating disorders go, it wasn't enough. I wanted to be thin. If I felt I had eating too much, I would throw up and cut myself. I mostly got better, but certain comments threw me back to these thoughts until I got stuck. My boyfriend knew and knows this. This was never an issue with him. He always made me feel beautiful and desired. Until 1 year into our relationship, I got gastritis and lost 6 kilos. I was almost underweight, but I felt beautiful because I was once again thin. However, I eventually got better and started to gain weight again because, well, my body wasn't made to be underweight, I guess. I've been weighing roughly the same for about 3 years, and I'm still thinner than when I met my boyfriend. I struggled with gaining weight, but I'm proud to say that I did mostly okay. My boyfriend does seem to have a problem with me gaining weight though. Around 3 years ago, he wouldn't touch me in a sexual way. I felt like he didn't like my body because he would avert his eyes if I changed in front of him and would never initiate sex. When I tried to, most of the times he would have some excuse. After months, I confronted him about it, and after a lot of pressure he ended up saying that he didn't find me attractive after I gained weight. Mind you, at that point I weighed around 3 kilos less than when he met me, and given my height that's a big difference. He apologized on the spot and I didn't leave his house right then and there because it was 1 a.m. We talked about it. I told him how it made me feel, but I forgave him. I asked him to go to a therapist because he was also having panic attacks, but he refused. I told him I could probably never forget what he said though. However, he would still make comments and give me looks. He would pressure me to exercise with him, a big trigger for me, or comment on what or how much I was eating. Each time I explained how shitty it made me feel and that he could be triggering my bulimia or self-harm. Each time he said he would stop and would really look like he hated himself for saying that. I have stopped feeling that he's attracted to me for a long time. We have sex maybe once a month, and I usually initiate, but I just don't feel good about my body around him. It all came to a head last week when I went to see him after taking public transportation on a very hot summer day. Got there super tired, fixed myself a plate of pasta, and the first thing he says is, "Are you going to eat all that?" I burst into tears and asked him to tell what the fuck his problem, and he ended up admitting that he's scared I might gain weight. Why? He doesn't know. I haven't gained weight in years, but I will probably gain weight when I grow older, I guess. Won't he like me then? I asked him to speak to a therapist, but he refused, so I told him to at least talk to a friend because I couldn't be with him like this anymore. I left, and when he told me that he talked to his friend, I realized that it wasn't enough, because I can't trust him anymore when he tells me how beautiful I am or how much he likes my body. I just think he's lying. I basically told him to talk to a therapist because I couldn't stay with him if he made me feel like that. He said he would, and we haven't really texted all week. I have always hated my body, not all the time right now, but I never felt I wasn't attractive to a man before. I'm sorry it's so long. I guess my question is, how do I trust him again after this? How do I stop feeling so angry at him for saying things that he knows hurt me? I really don't want to break up. TLDR, my boyfriend keeps making negative comments about how much I eat or what my body looks like, even though he knows it hurts me because I'm recovering from an eating disorder. He says he'll stop, but I don't know how to trust him. Update. I'm not sure if anybody's gonna read this update or not, but I'm writing it in case anybody's interested. I read all of your comments, and even though most of you told me to break up with him, I haven't. If we had been together for a few months or a couple of years, I probably would have without hesitation. But I didn't. I didn't write our whole relationship story on the post because I didn't want to make it too long, and in reality, nothing really justifies or excuses what he's been doing. However, I would like to say that besides these incidents, we have a great relationship and he isn't usually a dick. One of the latest examples is how he and his family let me stay almost all of 2021 with them because my family is heavily dysfunctional. Living on my own in my country is basically out of the question because of its shit economy. His family basically adopted me, which is part of the reason why it would hurt so much to leave him. I told him yesterday to go to therapy, and he had until today to make an appointment, otherwise I would break up with him, and that maybe that way will fix this. I told him everything I felt, and I think that the fear of losing me actually made him listen. He should have listened anyway. I know. I said that we'll see if it works with therapy because there are a lot of things that I'm not sure I can get past, like the fact that, even though he has never said it directly for fear of hurting my feelings or whatever, he doesn't find me attractive anymore. I'm still mulling over that one. It sucks that it had to come down to an ultimatum, but at least he seems really willing to fix things. He tried to get an appointment with a psychologist today, and he'll get an answer tomorrow. I had an appointment with my therapist, which had been paused during the holidays, and she recommended I took some distance from him for the moment, so I didn't go over to see him today as planned. When he asked why, I told him I was still pissed off and didn't want to see him. I think it will be good for him to see how different his life is without me, for the worse. It is also very fortunate that I am so angry, because I feel the sadness of this situation for minutes at a time, and it has kept any other feelings, body image issues, or self-harm ideation at bay. I'm just trying to keep myself distracted for the moment. I haven't ruled out breaking up with him like most of you suggested, but given the fact that we both have always planned to be together for the rest of our lives and this is not a casual relationship, I'm willing to give it a last chance. I'm also willing to let him know that he needs to earn it. I feel like breaking up with him right now, after he said he is willing to fix whatever issues he may have, wouldn't be good for me. Update 2. Hi guys, I'm the OP. I've been getting messages about this post, so I wanted to maybe bring an update to anyone who's interested. After what I've read, I think that this may come as a disappointment to most of you, but I didn't break up with him. And I'm glad. Reading my own post, I understand why everyone wanted me to get out of what seemed like a very toxic relationship. Unfortunately, life and relationships aren't black and white, and I found myself in a gray area of someone I love behaving in an uncharacteristic way that hurt me so much. So I stuck around to see what would happen with a zero BS policy, instead of throwing a 5-year relationship away. Not just because of the time, but also because of how much he means to me and how used to having him in my life I am. I needed to be sure of my decision because big sudden changes aren't the best for me. I how you all understand that I am minimizing what he did. I just decided that this did not seem normal behavior for him. So he started going to therapy. Of course, he never once made another comment like that again. But he also started to deal with things about himself. From what he said, I think that he didn't really understand the extent of my disorder. However, he did know that those comments made me feel bad, just not how bad, which is inexcusable. Anyway, I didn't exactly let it go easily. It took me months, but I saw him change back to who I fell in love with. He was not like that at first. He is not a mastermind manipulator like some of you thought, nor does he have an ED fetish. I think he was dumb, careless, and selfish. He's still going to therapy, which naturally has helped him with many aspects of his life. With what concerns me, I had a really stressful year with absolutely no breaks, and has been helping me with so much. He takes care of me and tells me how beautiful I am daily. If any of you were hoping for a happy ending, you got it. We're back to being really happy together, more so than ever I would say, and are moving in together next week. I'm sticking to my zero BS policy, and I made sure he knows it. Thank you everyone for your comments, even if this was not what you were hoping for. Just know that there are so many other things at play, but I will not tolerate him making me feel bad. And yes, I mean I will absolutely break up with him if he makes me feel insecure again, and I'll keep an eye out for if any other red flags come up in that one. All of my friends supported my decision as well, if that means anything to anyone. So I guess that I'm happy with him. He has only made me feel good about myself, and I feel like he has grown. As long as our relationship is like this, I'll stay in it.
Oh wow, what a shitstorm. Oh man. Look, OP, everyone has their own standards that they look for in a partner. One of his standards is being with someone who is not overweight. And while I don't agree in the way he tried to uphold that said standard, I also believe that your boyfriend not wanting to be with someone fat is completely reasonable. Staying with each other is a form of self-harm for the both of you. You know his preferences, and you know that he doesn't find you attractive. It's making your mental illness flare up. It's making you go back to your bad habits. So cut the cord and break up already.
Why are are you still here?
Instead of getting stressed out over this relationship, invest both of your energies into yourselves, or at least be with someone who prefers you to be healthy and meets your expectations and needs. Stop bullying the other into therapy for having their own standards. That's just toxic as hell, bro. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.